is the music getting slower today? Did it sound like it was just like in slow motion? Hey, everybody, how are you? Welcome to the Women Who Leap Network. Of course, hope you're enjoying your day. Thank you for joining me today. And my name is Uche Anye Maple, and I provide leadership and professional development consulting to organizations that will help increase employee engagement and job satisfaction. I am also the founder of the Women Who Leap community, and our mission is to reach one, teach one about how to leverage your gifts and abilities to gain financial independence and overall well-being. How is everyone doing on this amazing Wednesday? It is beautiful out here on the East Coast. I am loving it, and just really excited to really be here and to join with you. And above all, going to put in the plug in here is on April 26th, I am hosting a live masterclass where we'll be talking about how to leverage your gifts and abilities and really talk about how you position yourself to be underpaid, especially with the expertise that you gain. That information is actually on the screen. That's the site, and also the QR code. You can just get your phone and click it there where you can register for the event. And in addition to that, it is in the comments field. So first and foremost, welcome everybody, welcome. And what we're really going to talk about today is the do's and don'ts in entrepreneurships. Oftentimes when we are starting our businesses, there is a tendency where we are just excited to get started and we're not really paying attention to what we're doing. And as a result of that, there are certain lessons that I can definitely tell you that I have learned, and certain things that I can say with confidently that, yeah, these are some of the things that you should be doing. So first and foremost, the do's of entrepreneurship. The reason why I got into entrepreneurship was, for one, it was really for two reasons. The first one was, for those of you who don't know my story, in 2008, when everything was massive, right? When the economy was at a bust, I found myself in 2009, where I had my second son. And while I was on maternity leave, I took an extended leave and when I decided to go back, my manager at the time was like, haven't you heard what's going on? And I was like, no. He said, Uche, we're laying off. And I was like, oh, dang. And he's like, actually, your job isn't here anymore. We actually gave it to X and X. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And his comment was, right now they're putting you on furlough. And for those of you who don't know what furlough, what that means is that you're just waiting for the company to call you back. Well, here's what I did. So this is my advice to anybody. Never take what someone says to you as absolute. There's always room to negotiate. And one thing that I did was I did call my, I don't even know what they were called at that time. Let's just say HR rep, I believe. I don't know what they were called. But I did ask for a waiver to be granted for me to be off furlough so that I can go and provide for my newborn son. And it went all the way up to the vice president of HR, and I was granted a furlough. So that allowed me to work, and I got a contracting job. And that was the moment where I was like, I don't ever want to be in this position again. Like, I got to have something to lean back on. And I started taking classes where I was going to become an accountant, and took a couple of classes there, but then ended up going full time. So, but I knew in that moment that I never wanted to be in a position where I had to work for somebody, but I wanted to be able to provide a service to them where I was working for myself. Does that make sense? So the first thing I tell everyone is the do's of entrepreneurship is to have a clear vision of what it is that you want to achieve so that you can work towards it. And this is not any different with any vision that you have set for yourself. I don't care if you're trying to move up the corporate ladder and want to be senior vice president, or if you want to be have a healthier lifestyle, or if you just want to have mental fitness in your life. You have to have a clear vision. And that is crucial to anything and everything that you do. Because the clearer the vision is, the clearer the strategy is, the clearer who you need to talk to, the clearer the road is. They talk about a roadmap. It becomes clear. Oftentimes, the reasons why we don't do a lot of things is because our vision is muddy. So the clearer you have a vision of what you are trying to achieve, what you are aspiring to be as an entrepreneur, you can work towards it with discipline, with strategy, with tactics, determination, and perseverance. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So for those of you who are on, tell me where you are coming from, where you are representing. Yes? Okay. So the second thing that you should do in terms of do's is you want to have be able to focus on your customer needs. It's not just enough to have a vision like, oh, I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to start my business, and that's it. No, you need to have a clear vision you need to focus on your customer needs. So what is that for you? We got customers, you got clients, you got sponsors, whatever you call it. You want to make sure that you can focus on their needs. You should always, always prioritize the needs of your customers and aim to provide them with product or services that will solve their problems or fulfill their desires. I talked about this extensively. What is it that keeps them up at night? What are you offering that's viable? If you go back to the very first live I did last Monday, I talked about this, and where I talked about Jeff Hoffman and what he did. So go back and listen to that. But you want to make sure that you understand what they're looking for and getting customers' feedback. The third thing that you want to do is to get a very strong team that's in alignment where you're trying to go. You need to build a team that is very talented in areas that you're not and passionate, who share your vision so that they can execute your plans really with enthusiasm, like they have bought into the vision of your business. And that is one of the most important things. It's not any different than when you're leading a team and everyone is working on a project and you are trying to achieve some goal, some measurable goal, and people understand the vision and they understand what you're trying to achieve. Here's the difference. Because oftentimes when we are, I have done this too when I didn't know any better, is when we are working, when you're leading a project or a team or an organization, you want to be able to clearly articulate why it's important. That is so important. Why is it important that we should do this thing? And when you're able to relate why, the people working on it no longer see this as a job, but a mission. And that's the goal. You want them to have buy-in on that so that you can get the best version of them. Yes, yes? All right. So you want to also continuously learn and improve. You want to make sure that you're always learning and improving your skills, knowledge, and strategies to stay ahead of the competition and adapt to changes in the market. This is why you need to start going to those conventions and being involved in those organizations that's in the industry that you're trying to be in or you are in. You really know what is happening. You need to subscribe to subscriptions, magazine, e-zines, be part of organizations. You got to learn what's going on in your industry and what's changing and shifting, right? Everyone talks about ChatGPT and all these other AIs that's coming into play, Like it is an explosion in the background. And if you're not aware of it, you're going to get left behind. And you're wondering why you're getting left behind. The point is for you to be aware of it so that you can talk about it. The fifth thing that you want to do as an entrepreneur is you do want to take calculated risk. I didn't say crazy risk, any risk. It's calculated risk. You want to, as an entrepreneur, that's the beauty of it. You're able to take risk, but you are taking calculated risk by analyzing like what could happen, the potential outcomes, and really making informed decisions. And this is important where you want to make sure that you either have a coach that you can talk to about what you're doing and a mentor. You need someone to advise you when you're taking these risks, or even people that you are working with who are partners, because you want to just get more than one viewpoint in terms of what's the potential outcome if we do this. Yes, yes? All right, so those are 5 do's. All right, so here are 5 don'ts, which is what everyone does. Don't neglect any type of legal or financial aspects. You got to know what's going on with the money. You run out of money so quick, you don't even understand, right? You got to understand, like, if you are working for someone, what type of contract, what type of joint venture contract you're doing, what type of partnership, when they're buying a service from you, what does that look like? You want to understand anything dealing with your taxes, get a professional. Listen, you want to make sure that you understand all of that to the best of your ability, or to find someone who does that can advise you. That's the biggest thing. If as you are doing this and you're starting your business, you cannot neglect that. The second don't is do not overspend on unnecessary items. How many of us do that? How many of us do that? Do not overspend on unnecessary items. Tell the truth. Well, so that happens, right? You end up overspending. So you don't want to overspend on unnecessary expenses that do not directly contribute to your business growth or profitability. You don't want to do that. Actually, you want to make sure that you are very intentional on where you spend your money so that you know where everything is and where everything is going. You do not, number 3, the third thing is, you do not want to underspend. You do not want to ignore feedback from your customers or employees. I had to take a deep breath because this is like one of the most critical ways on how you're going to improve people using your products, people using your services, your operations. Because sometimes we get so used to working in our business that we forget that we need to work on our business, and hire the people who need to work in the business. And the ones working in it, they're the ones that are going to see a lot of deficiencies. They're going to be the ones to see improvements. How are you able to improve the efficiency in your business? Like we used to say on the operation floor, what can we do to reduce the amount of time for people to do this so that we can increase the amount of time for our product can go out? So you really want to look at that. You want to make sure that you're able to listen. You cannot assume that you know everything. You have to listen, especially to your clients, because they're going to tell you exactly what they're looking for, what they need. And with the people working for you, they're going to be the one to help you improve and tell you a lot of defects and gaps that are happening in your operations. Yes, yes? Okay, so number 4, entrepreneurs, do not spread yourself so thin. Been guilty of it, I would admit. What happens is that we try to do everything ourselves and we become quickly overwhelmed and we end up doing nothing, and we're like sick and tired for like a week it takes us to recover. Here is what I love to do. So I took an assessment that helped me identify what my strengths were. And what I found out is that when I am not operating in my strengths, is that I'm actually a deficit to my company. So I have to delegate. And that's what I do. I delegate. It's certain things that I'm like, that's just not me. I'm not going to do that because I know it is not, one, a good use of my time, and two, it takes me too long to do it. So I delegate it. And let me tell you, you can't spread yourself too thin because you won't have any energy for the clients who you're trying to attract. That whole client acquisition process is a beast in itself, right? So you want to make sure you are present to be a part of it, present to listen and learn, and present to providing what they are looking for, especially when they're saying things that they haven't said. Yes, yes. The fifth, do not give up easily. Entrepreneurship, it is not easy. If anyone tell you that it is, they lie. And there will be many, many challenges and setbacks. But you got to remember, why are you doing this? Why am I in this? So that you can persevere through these challenges and do not give up easily. One reason that I started my business was I knew first and foremost that I didn't want to work till I was 65. But more importantly, my mom retired at the age of 55 from being an educator for over 30 years. And when she retired, she did get her teacher's retirement, which wasn't a lot. But when she reached a certain age in order to get Social Security, she didn't qualify because they said she had not put in earned enough credits in the system. And they recommended that if she wanted to get Social Security, she needed to go back. And to me, I was probably in my 20s, late 20s, when this happened to her, or actually mid 30s. And I said to myself, you work 30 years. You work 30 years and you still can't get benefits, Social Security benefits, because you haven't put in enough credits. And that was just insane to me, right? It was just mind boggling. And I said, I don't ever want her to go back to work. And two, I don't want my kids to be put in a position where they have to worry about me financially. And that's, those were two of the main core reasons why I said entrepreneurship is going to be the best bet. Because one, I became more educated, right? I became more knowledgeable. And truthfully, in addition to that, I had brought on an expert to teach. It was like a Q&A for one of my master classes that I had in 2020. And one of the questions that one of the students asked was, how do I gain financial security? How do I gain wealth? And the first answer that they gave was to start your own business. I was like, ooh. Then they say real estate, and then it was everything else. But the first way was to start your own business. And that's telling, right? Because we don't hear a lot of that. We hear work your 9 to 5. And no one is saying that you shouldn't work a 9 to 5. Listen, my experience in my 9 to 5 taught me discipline. It gave me access to tools I never would have had access to. It increased my knowledge. It helped me identify gaps. Loved it. Wouldn't be who I am today. But in addition to that, we all should invest in ourselves so that we are creating more than one stream of income. In 2008, when we had the huge economic downturn, it was insane. And because so many people was relying on their 9 to 5 and lost a lot. It was hard to bounce back. Like I said, for me, I was like, I'm gonna be a part-time CPA. Like that was my goal, to have my part-time job, because I knew it was not rational to only depend on one stream of income. It did not make any type of logical sense. And hence why I said, I'm going to teach others how they can leverage their skills and abilities by creating their own side business. And it is, and when I say I love it, I love it. And when I see my clients excited because they have clarity, they have the confidence, and they understand the need, it's worth it. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. All right. So make sure you join me on April 26th as we talk about, quit being underpaid. Learn how to create your own revenue by simply leveraging your skills and abilities. Okay, everyone. My name is Uche Maple. Until next time, keep moving, keep striving, and keep breaking boundaries. See you tomorrow at 3. Bye.